So moving along, you finish up your time at Buds, and then you go back to the teams. What team did you go back to?
Oregon.
You went back to Fort. And where were you going this time?
This time I got assigned to 3 troops. So I knew it was Southcom. At the time, it was 1 troop was going to Africa, 2 was UCOM, and 3 troop was Southcom. So Team 4 went back to its roots. Southcom was its AO because all CENTCOM kind of died off. East Coast teams were not going there at all. The most kinetic place was Africa, and even that wasn't nearly as kinetic as Afghanistan when I went there. So I ended up going to Colombia, did my LPO tour, and went to Southcom.
How was that deployment?
I liked it, honestly. It was a really good deployment. I enjoyed it. It was very, very different than the first 2 I experienced. I mean, it was a little night and day difference.
Yeah.
Working with the embassy, other, host nation partner forces, a lot of FID, those who don't know, Foreign Internal Defense, we're just training the local special forces a lot. That was the main gig there. We're working with a lot of interagency. There was DEA, CIA there. So we worked alongside of them. We helped train their forces. So a lot of joint advise and assist ops.
What kind of ops? Were they counter-drug?
Counter-drug. All of them were counter-narcotic and local within their city. They utilized their military special forces to do basically police work.
Okay.
In the city. So it's a little different dynamic than we had.
Investigation type work or undercover work or as a...
DAs. I would just go in and have a target and hey, we're going to go and arrest this guy.
Okay, so they're hitting houses.
They're hitting houses, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you with them?
Yeah, we're parked a block over in the street.
Okay, you're command and control.
Yeah, we did advising and assisting them. We're not up there on the train or anything. We're just sitting in our up armored Vic a block over, doing overwatch.
Okay.
Make sure everything goes smooth.
Are you proud of these guys? Do you get attached to them?
Towards the end, I did.
Yeah.
We also helped develop their whole selection process as well for their special forces unit. So I myself, being the lead guy down there in that part of Colombia, had a lot invested in this, and I was proud of the product because we helped stand up their course, which produced their quote unquote operators.
Yeah.
So, and I was pretty pleased on how motivated and effective it was, and how much time and effort they put into it. They took it seriously.
So this is this is a completely different mission than what you're used to, being overseeing foreign nationals operate in their own country and training them what to do and how to do everything. And it sounds like you really enjoyed that, and it was a nice change from the Middle East.
It was definitely a complete 180. I did a little bit of FID when I was in the Middle East, just a little bit, but this one was kind of the main focus, to give us access and placement in that country regardless. And that's what SEALs do. I mean, that's what we do. The majority of the job when we're not at war, that's what team guys do. So we got to have, FID is important. It's part of the mission. Guys don't like it, but it needs to be done.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of that, but I enjoyed my time there. I mean, being in that AO was pretty comfortable in Colombia. So.
And that was your last deployment?
That was my last one, yeah.
How long after your last deployment did you decide to separate out of the community?
So I finished that deployment and then went to trade at the training command for 2 years.
Okay.
I made chief. I ended up being the chief of SAUC, Special Operations Urban Combat, just a training division in the big umbrella of all of the divisions. I was in charge of one of them. And I did that for 2 years. Spent a lot of time in Kentucky. That's where our training was out there. So
Mount for you civilian types is basically urban warfare. It's moving as a team small unit tactics in and out of urban environments, downtown cities, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Heavily focused on that, leadership skills, communication. We did a lot of shooting, CQC, close quarters combat. That was kind of the culmination of the workup for guys, the assaults block. Kind of what all the team guys look forward to, because the best block, all the team guys want to do assaults.
Yep.
They all want to do CQC, all want to shoot shit, all want to do DAs. So that's what that block is. But so I learned a lot. I learned a hell of a lot of things about being a SEAL, new skills, sharpened my skills, learned a lot more leadership stuff, just bigger pictures, kind of staff stuff, being in that role, being like a chief of a cell.
Yeah.
But it was 2 years.
I mean, for our generation, that block of training, CQC, hitting houses, urban movement, all that kind of stuff, I mean, that is I think without a doubt, the single most important training block that we have with what's going on in the world today. And I'd love to hear your take on, I mean, you've been out, you've done it 3 times. Now you were a BUDS instructor, now you're teaching, and you're seeing the final product do what they want to do and what they do best. What does that look like from the outside, kind of looking in? I mean, are you like, holy shit, like these guys are fucking good, or we got a lot of work to do?
I think the majority are pretty solid, but again, more time needs to be spent on it. We don't spend enough time. They took away a week from the training. The training's 3 weeks long. SALC was assault blocks is 2 weeks long, so a total of 5 weeks total assault block. But more time is needed, because that is like the meat of the skill set.
Yeah.
And if we're focusing more of attention on diving or mobility, or we're taking away, if people higher up see that maybe more of a priority, then they're going to take away. They have taken away time from the assaults block because they don't see that it's necessary. We need to focus our efforts maybe on more mirror time. Were
you impressed with the product coming out of that? The teams
I had mixed feelings sometimes.
No shit.
Yeah, I think it was. I could name the teams. I'm not going to, but I can name the teams that I liked, that really impressed me. But the teams that were like, ugh, like they need more work. They just need more time. They just didn't do it enough. They didn't do enough. What happens is that they just don't do enough prep work prior to the assaults block on their own time.
Okay.
So they're not taking it upon themselves to go rent out the kill house, to do runs with older guys teaching new guys, and just doing those reps before they get there to set themselves up for success. And it shows.
Yeah. Let's move on towards transition. And I mean, there's all this preparation that goes into going to combat, doing the job right, making sure you're a team player, all that stuff. And when I was in, there was no preparation for guys that are leaving that kind of a job, that kind of, the things that you see and the things that you do. There was zero preparation for it. And what do you think about that? And how was your separation? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous. I knew about a year out that I was going to make the decision. So I've already stuck to what I felt was right for me. So I knew I was going to get out. But as far as like knowing what to do, or people helping me, none. I mean, very limited. Other than I really had to seek out, and more often than not, it was people outside the community, not inside.
Yeah.
Because if the first time I told my leadership, I mean, jaw about dropped to the floor, like, what the hell are you doing? It was more like, and then afterwards I felt more like, hey, they're like, hey, fuck you, like, you leaving?
Yeah.
So that stigma is still floating around. It's just kind of, what I've noticed is based on person to person. It's not in general, but about a year out, I prepped, try to line everything up myself, get as much information as I can. At the time, I was like, really going back and forth what I want to do with my life after the teams. Yeah.
Before we get into that, before we get into after you're gone,
Okay.
I heard you say in another podcast about, you talked about going and seeing psychiatrists and docs on your way home from deployment. We didn't have that when I was in, and even if we did, I don't know that any of us would have opened up. Maybe it would have helped us, maybe it wouldn't have. What kind of questions were they asking? Did they seem genuine? Were they there to help? Did you open up to them?
The ones post every deployment, I didn't really feel they were genuine. It's more of a check in the block.
Okay.
Because after the Afghan deployments, both of them, we stopped in a town to take a weekend break before, it was in the States. We just took a weekend break, and then we had every morning we'd wake up, meet like a certain type of doctor, and it was more of a check in the block for them. Like, hey, you feeling good? Check. Oh, he's all right. Get out of here. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until like I was actually getting out. Now they have programs set in place. They have Warrior Concussion Clinic. So they have like these clinics set up for guys, especially special operators, that they really dive deep and get full body, like what's going on with you, open it up. They, everything from head to toe, they do. And honestly, it's a really good program, and they take it seriously now, because in the past they didn't give two shits about this stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't even think about it nor paid attention to it. So nowadays it's more prevalent. So they did. I went through that, saw the psych a handful of times. At first I don't think I ever really opened up. I mean, yeah. I talked a little bit. The first couple times I went, no, I didn't at all. I only went 5 times, but the last 3 times I talked a little bit. I opened up some more. I progressively opened up a little bit more, but by the time I was already out, I was already like front sight focus on. I wanted to get this done. It was part of the transition to go through this medical exam. It was like a month long.
Yeah.
So I needed to get that done before I got out. But that being said, I felt it did help me though. Because a part of that program, to see all these different doctors and talk to them, it did help me. And there was a whole other, I got to do a physical thing for physical rehab plan, got to see chiropractors, massage therapy, float tank therapy.
Shit, they really stepped it up.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother month long too. So there are these programs to really kind of, before you get out, to kind of just get your head right. Yeah. I felt like it did for me. It got my head right a little bit, got me back on level ground, and kind of kept me focused on my next move. Because before that, I was like, I thought I knew what I was going to do, but we'll get to that. But it's like, I'm really grateful that they have that now.
You got out. I know you tried out for a law enforcement agency. I'm not sure which one. You didn't make it. And why don't you tell us a little bit about who you were trying out with and why you think maybe you didn't make it?
So I applied for the FBI. I would say almost damn near a year before I got out. Me and a couple other guys did. I would say about the last 10 months. So I went through the entire, not the entire because I didn't make it, but 3/4 of the process. And I thought, this is it. This is what I want to do. Great job. Do good things. Serve my country still, just in a different capacity. So I was really stoked about this. I thought I was going to be the exception to the rule. I've told you this about having issues transitioning. I thought it was me, boom, just transfer right over. Like, get out, get right back into a federal job. Simple. I tried to time it just right so there's no lag time whatsoever. I went through all the process, and it was after the background check, all the background stuff, I got a letter saying no. So it's had something to do with the background for me, probably the polygraph. Don't know why. They don't tell me.
Yeah.
They don't tell you there. It's more I just took it, did all the background check, paperwork, everything, and simply I didn't know until about a month after I actually got out and moved to California. Actually, well, I drove to California just to visit.